Lie on the grass in the garden and look into the world of the funny little bugs with Larry, Louse, Betty B, and Marvin too. Annabelle and Fiona Fly and Lily Ladybug, Camilla, Boris, and of course Danny Butterfly, Baby Susie, and Bartley Bumblebee.
Wendy Wasp, Bad Faith. One morning, to Betty B's great surprise, Wendy Wasp paid her a visit.
Wendy? What brings you here?
Well, I was hoping to get to know my favorite bee a little better.
That's very nice of you, Wendy, but
When you lived in the castle, you must have been very close to her. Tell me what Her Majesty usually has for breakfast.
Oh, you're talking about the Queen.
Yes, the most dignified bug in the garden.
The most unbearable, you mean?
What?
Take Boris, for example.
Oh, what happened to the beetle?
He who loves nothing more in life than being alone, painting flowers.
Alone at last. Ah!
He has to go to the castle every other day to repaint the portrait of that pretentious bee.
Let me see. Perfect. What nobleness, what elegance. That's exactly me.
Oh, I did my best.
Of course, by painting the Queen over and over again, guess what finally happened?
It's such an honor to serve Her Majesty. My brushes, my palette, my easel, and my tubes of paint. Oh no! I'm out of yellow! Oh my, what am I going to do? Oh, I can't do your portrait. I've run out of yellow paint.
How can that be?
Well, it's just that,
Couldn't you have told me sooner?
I tried to, but you wouldn't listen. Now, unless you want me to paint you in blue...
Guards, seize this beetle and throw him into the tower immediately!
Well, how would you like to have your portrait painted in blue? Now, come on, honestly.
That's not the point, Wendy. Would you like some honey in your tea?
Well, I'd prefer a couple drops of royal jelly.
I could have offered you some if your idol wasn't so stingy.
What do you mean?
When I left the hive, I took a bottle with me. But one day, what a disaster! There was not one drop left. I hesitated for a long time, and then decided I'd worked for her long enough to dare ask. Your Majesty, without the jelly, I feel ugly and tired. I'd do anything to have some more, even just one small bottle.
Anything? Very well. Faster! I've never seen a lazier bee. It's obvious you've forgotten what hard work is. You clumsy bee! You missed the spot. To your right. Betty, I wish to thank you for your modest help with the royal chores. At present, you may leave. I'll even show you to the door.
But my royal jelly!
The satisfaction of serving your queen is by far a sufficient reward, as well as compensation for the jelly you'd stolen from me.
After all that work.
Sometimes you just have to do things to be nice and not always ask for something in return.
Wendy, you don't mean to tell me you've forgotten what she did to Susie Spider.
What Susie did to her, you mean?
What are you waiting for? Get me out of here! I declare Susie here present guilty of high treason, and she's to be chopped into little pieces tomorrow at dawn. Take her to the dungeon.
Now, Betty, you seem to be forgetting what happened the next morning.
Oh. Now what's going on? Well, what are you waiting for? Oh! That's really quite pretty. It would be such a shame to waste so much talent. Susie, I'm canceling your punishment and appointing you official seamstress to the palace. You can start with my wardrobe. I have nothing to wear.
Now that proves how forgiving Her Majesty is and that she's not afraid to admit her mistakes.
Well, if you don't believe me, why don't you go and see her and judge for yourself?
Good idea. I'll feel more at home in a castle than in this vulgar little garden. Ciao.
Wendy, who considered herself an expert in elegance, decided to appoint herself personal interior decorator to the Queen.
Good evening, Your Majesty. You're looking, fantastic. On the other hand, if I may say so, your palace is a little old-fashioned. If I were you, I'd add a little purple or blue. I'm exhausted, and I'd just like to be taken to my room now.
Your what?
A large, peaceful room with the light blue curtains will do just fine. Oh, and I take 2 drops of nectar in my morning tea. Guards, don't just stand there. Show me the way.
Show her the way.
So, how did it go?
Perfect. It is obvious Her Majesty knows exactly what she wants and isn't afraid to say what she thinks. And I like that. Of course, you wouldn't understand.
It's not always easy to admit someone else is right. And when you're too busy trying to have the last word, it's difficult to see the light.
Lie on the grass in the garden and look into the world of the funny little bugs with Larry, Louse, Betty Bee, and Marvin too. Annabelle and Fiona Fly and Lily Ladybug, Camilla, Boris, and of course Danny Butterfly, Phoebe Susie, and Bartley Bumblebee.